Good people, what is going on? Another episode of the All Go Podcast. I'm your host Desmond. With a chilly morning here in Michigan, we have finally gotten to fall temperatures, and it's like 47 degrees right now. It's supposed to warm up a little later, but nothing too crazy, like 60. Last week we were like in the 80s. It was pretty nuts for October. Anyway, want to jump right into something, and this is not an indictment on any of the coaches in the NFL. But one phrase that I hope we can retire and that we should retire in the NFL when it comes to coaches. When you talk about potentially firing a coach and moving on, of the phrase, well, who else are they going to get? That's not important. That is not important in step one. Step one is the current coach is not getting it done for whatever reason. Sometimes it is the message just gets stale, right? Sometimes it's just straight performance, like the, defense isn't playing well, the offense isn't playing well, whatever the case may be. A couple of the times where it was brought up were multiple things. Last year it was a lot with Mike Tomlin. You heard a lot of the talk about it, and it wasn't necessarily that they would or should fire Mike Tomlin. It just was, is the message being lost? He's been there for a very long time. Would a mutual parting of ways be beneficial for both parties, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers? And now you're starting to hear it a little bit with John Harbaugh with the Ravens. Also a little with Zach Taylor in the Bengals. But my point is, in moving it off of them, but my point is that there are plenty offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators that are in the NFL right now that are crushing it, that would be amazing head coaches. So the thought of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If a coach is not getting it done, if he's underperforming, it stinks, it's not going well, you've got to try something. Right? College football is different because you got buyouts. There's a lot of talk with James Franklin and Penn State that they should fire him. His buyout is $50 million. $50 million. So Penn State would have to pay him $50 million to go away and not do anything. Then pay the next coach that they want to hire and all that good stuff as well. So it hurts, right? NFL is a little different. These coaches are making good money, make no mistake, 13, 14 million, depending on the coach. But it's very different as far as those buyouts and things like that they have in college. Basically, for NFL, whatever your contract was, that's what you're going to get paid out. So if you signed a deal, 4 years for $40 million, $10 million a year, and you get fired after year one, right, you're still going to get that $30 million over the next 3 years. And the NFL, these teams are getting a $400 million check from just the TV deal, right? Regardless of any merch sales, ticket sales, nothing. Just $400 million. Here you go. Congrats on being an NFL franchise. So it's very different. And, you look at guys like Shane Steichen, for example, who, right, was the OC at Philadelphia, right? He gets the Indy job. Heck, McVay, right? Shanahan. Those guys, like, there's guys everywhere. And it's you just don't know what you don't know. And if you don't ever take a chance on something, you'll never get it right. Because sometimes it takes time. You look at the Andy Reid thing, right? Andy Reid gets fired. I believe they hired Chip Kelly right after, right? Chip has a little bit of success first couple years. Then, like, the third, fourth year, it kind of falls off. He gets fired. They bring in Doug, win a Super Bowl. Then it goes bad with Doug. They have to fire him and move on, right? So Philly's been through multiple coaches, but they've taken chances, and they've just moved off of those decisions. When it's like, hey, he's not getting it done anymore, let's move on. Let's, find another coach. And it's worked for them. And now they have Sirianni, who's doing well as well. So it's just, you can't be stuck in the mud on these, well, he's been the coach for X amount of years, or well, the fear of who else are we going to get? There's coaches out there. It's football. They're everywhere, literally everywhere. There are 32 offensive coordinators. There's 32 defensive coordinators. There's 32 quarterbacks coaches. There's guys literally everywhere. So I think we just need to retire that phrase that, who else are they going to get? There's options. Just got to pick one and go with it. So that's it for me. Appreciate it. Peace.